Yeah, I haven't done one in a while. I'm glad you're here. Felt like time. I just set up this space over here. It's been really cluttered recently. I haven't had a proper space to read. I mean, that's not exactly true. I've been reading on the floor for myself, but it's nice to have, my space set up again and all of that. So hi, welcome. Glad you're here. Get my decks ready. Okay. All right, that card came out, so we'll just go with that one. One more card from this deck. Sorry. When I shuffle like this, yeah, it's harder for me to talk during the process. Okay, it's interesting. It's interesting because we have some kind of action-oriented cards here. So let me get these all jumbled back into place. I see 5 of you are watching. Don't be afraid to say hi and, give the video a thumbs up since you're here. So the situation collectively, I guess, that we're facing is judgment. So part of this is things coming to their natural conclusions, and so there's also a resurrection with this card coming up. So things that have been buried may be coming to the surface now at this time, and this is influenced by the Knight of Cups here. So this is this action oriented type of card that speaks to, I want to say, beauty. Art is kind of coming out strong with this, but it's more the way that we feel and having, the ability to express that fully. So this might be a time collectively where we're speaking about how we feel about the past, or we may be expressing what we are putting together just based on what's coming out of the woodwork at this time. And we're going to be seeing things in a way that is going to be, it's more to do with our, I want to say instincts, our instincts and our intuition as well. When things are coming back to you to process, or you're having to like re-look at something, it's really important to listen to the kind of gut feelings that you're having, and to go with that and to express that. You don't always have to have the words. It's enough to have the feelings that something is wrong, even if you don't know why. Those answers will come in time. And it looks like with this, that's what's happening overall. We're feeling before we know. I also think judgment may be, a lot of it has to do with things coming to roost, chickens coming to roost, right? There's that imagery. Things are coming back to us as well. So it's important to think about how, if situations do come back around to you, why? What still needs to be resolved? Can you feel your way through that? Do you have a like instinctual feel for what you're experiencing? The right thing to do is, it's saying to go with that. Don't the clarity is coming. The outcome here is the 9 of Wands. This is like the goal, the mission, if you will. And if you look at this, this is a very strong position to be in. There's a rod down the middle that is, you know, kind of to me signifying an added bit of strength, almost like a backbone. And then we have these interconnecting forces that create this force field. So it's about having a backbone. Something about being able to stand firm in what you believe and not be shaken. But in order to do that, you have to like actually express what you feel. And also not be afraid to be perceived as emotional. There's that with the Knight of Cups energy, you know. We know that aspect of things is often ridiculed or maligned when we're talking about global forces or things that we're dealing with collectively. And that just harkens back to the negation of the feminine principle, you know, in the world as it stands. You know, anything that is associated with the feminine is considered to be lesser in terms of a way of viewing or perceiving things. So when you have an emotional gut instinct, an intuition, that's what we have to listen to in this time. Those things that are coming back around, we know why. We know the truth as well. We can feel it. But we feel it before we can say it. So say what you feel, and then like as we go through this process, it's about, you know, strengthening us so that we can become that solid 9 of Wands, unshakable force. Like, you know, when you're told to move, You know, you want to be that force that says, no, you move, and have the energy divert around you, you know, just to be that, like, to have that much conviction is what I'm seeing here too. Conviction is important at this time. What do you feel intuitively is the right thing to do? What are the right things to go towards? What feels correct inside of you? The past, we have justice. And so this is aligning with that Libra energy that we're all under right now. Justice, balance, harmony, relationships, partnerships that are arrangements as well, not just, you know, one-on-one relationships, but actual arrangements where each party has a responsibility. Feels like in the past, this is what has been under scrutiny. I'm also seeing a lot of this has to do with work arrangements. So, you know, for those of you who are workers, I would suggest that this is a time to really think about how you can balance back your energy from not being depleted completely by your work. Because it's important, like, you want to have balance in your life, and you want to be able to stand firm in that, but you have to listen to the internal in order to do that. The current energies that we're working with here is the Two of Wands, which is actually like a very open energy. It's, you know, we're part of that to me is like, go with the flow, keep your ear to the ground, you know, listen for opportunities, let yourself be open to change, but don't go, you know, arduously pursuing it. It's important to step back and kind of like listen to what is around you and make choices based on that. It's, you know, you want to have like a bigger view of things. You want to have a more, you want to have a view that is objective. So how far away can you remove yourself, right, from, you know, what you're chasing in this world, and see just what is around and what's available, what's within grasp too, that's going to like perhaps help get you a little bit further along the way. It's also saying to stop and smell the roses. Sometimes a detour is necessary. And I get with these like these cards that are knights. We have two of them here. And the next card is, you know, the future energy, which is the Knight of Swords. This is like, again, we're moving from like feeling to thinking. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I never noticed that his shoulder armor has a face on it, so that's interesting. Something to me about like having eyes here in multiple places, you know? Part of our connections with others is to have eyes in other places so that people can see things that we can't, so they can bring them to us. But yeah, these are really action-oriented cards, and we have like Judgment impacted by the Knight of Cups. There we have like a situation of resurrection happening by really actually examining our internal landscape, how we actually feel, and then moving towards this Knight of Swords who's able to actually, you know, express themselves in ways that people understand. Because that's the thing, you know, it's one thing to like feel and know something is wrong inside us, it's a whole other thing to express to others what we are feeling. And I'm sure we've all been in situations like that in our life where we just know something's not right, but we don't know how to express it. Okay. Remember, I was shuffling, because I'm working with 2 decks. I was shuffling this deck. The next card that came out was the Queen of Wands. Okay. So she's like, in terms of the queens, she's kind of the fun one, you know what I mean? She knows how to have a good time. She knows how to kind of inspire. She would be, you know, a patron of the arts, you know, someone who seeks to create merriment. You know, she would have festivals that she would throw herself into, you know, be very meticulous about deciding, you know, what sort of performers are going to be there, and just kind of, you know, she's fun. She's fun. She's dynamic. She's really, you know, she's made of fire. She's a firecracker. She really gets things going, you know, and she provides that for her realm. And so with this, kind of bringing that into this reading here, it's interesting because we have so many like court cards, and I don't know exactly, like, regarding her placement, you know, I think she would be, this is kind of external to us, so this is kind of, I think, the role that we can maybe fill here. Those of you who are watching this or who will watch this once it's just up here, the role that we can fill is to make it fun. How do you make it fun? How do you be like lighthearted, playful, and you know, creative with the stuff that I'm talking about, with the verbalization of the intuition, of the knowing that is internal? How do you make it into a game? Or how do you make it into a noteworthy event? You know, maybe even to, like, I'm seeing like a rite of passage, maybe from one aspect of life into a next. And I think maybe a lot of us are in that point, that kind of place. Like, okay, we're here, we were here. There's definitely been a shift and a change collectively for a lot of us. Where we were is not where we are. But to me, she's signifying having like a vision too, of like how we can actually properly utilize all the changes that we've been through, and how does revisiting the past and like looking for, it's almost like going backward to go through your own records. You know, this kind of justice, or not justice, the judgment. Judgment is so interesting because I literally like swim with all the different meanings of that card. I might come back to it here. It's kind of a happy card, you know? These people look like they've been, you know, they look happy. They look really happy to be revived. They look like, you know, they have more to do. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's about revival within you. Revival of like, this is something, okay, something that you need to fulfill. It's about fulfillment. It's about chasing fulfillment, okay? I see. So chasing fulfillment and having like a strong backbone to do so and to actually express what it is that we truly are seeking. And so the fire, okay, so that makes sense then. Okay, so then we're getting to this like fire element in here with the Nine of Wands, Two of Wands, and then the Queen of Wands. How is she playing with these energies? Obviously, she's ferocious. She will speak her mind. She will devastate when she speaks her mind because she stands in her like full fire of truth. I mean, she has no choice but to. She's not like she is a queen that can manipulate. Actually, let me take that back. She is a queen that can manipulate energies, definitely. But she doesn't usually need to. You know, that's not one of her, that is something that generally she's just very, very good at just being herself, you know, and being accepted for who she is, good and bad. And I think we all need to, you know, this is something that is a lifelong process. How do we live with the aspects of ourselves that others may not like or that may cause challenges for us? But she's still like, she doesn't let it disrupt her world, you know. She's still very much in control. And it's actually the fact that she wields that kind of power that, you know, it's what makes her powerful. It's what makes her have control. It's also here too, I mean, the sunflowers, we do know that fall is coming. There's a little black cat in this card. I mean, it's such a great card, right? Queen of Wands. Who doesn't love that little iconic black cat? But yeah, there is a sense of leaning back, going with the flow, but also, how do you go with the flow but also stand strong in who you are and what you want? And like, keep this cup in mind. Like, the cup is about the fulfillment. It's about, you know, having that purpose, that meaning behind what you're doing. So we're seeking that through creative, artistic means in some ways. And I think some of this is about self-expression, just period. It's about self-expression and not being afraid to like hold back if something isn't right, because we do know what it is that we actually want. We can sense it. It's okay, you know. It's also okay to do things in the meantime, but to always keep that in mind, you know, like, how is this helping facilitate my future goal? How is this helping me to potentially fill my cup, period? How is this helping me find meaning, fulfillment from life? How will this enable me to? How do these actions and how am I expressing myself in order to facilitate that in the strongest way possible? Okay, so let's get some more cards. I don't know, I'm not finding this reading easy, I have to say that. Is it resonating? I did see some people were making comments to that effect, but it's always good to know. All right, what do we have here? All right. Two of Swords. Queen of Swords. Seven of Swords. Why all the court cards? Why? I think too, with just this many court cards looking, you know, look for knights, look for people who are action oriented, okay? Action oriented. And then queens, look for people who, you know, are responsible for realms, okay? Whatever that is. These type of people who are responsible for the health and the kind of the dimension, whatever it is. But you want to, with the queens, these are people who basically nurture and foster a kingdom. You know, they have a realm they are responsible for, they fulfill a function. A lot of it has to do with the community itself, or a larger community than themselves. You know, they serve, but they also have, you know, a status within that. So in terms of your own, you know, in your own self here, it's like looking for opportunities to be more action oriented towards those feelings of purposefulness, finding meaning in life, and also responsibility for the things that you do care about, that you do concern yourself with. What is your domain? All right, so Two of Swords. To me, again, this is kind of interesting because we also have the Two of Wands, right? So Two of Fire, then Two of Air here, Swords. Indecision. Not just indecision, but I think like kind of being pulled in different directions. And this is about like how we see ourselves when we're pulled in different directions about what we want, what it is you know, what will truly make us feel fulfilled. It's really important, I guess, to like in this shut down. Hi, baby. Shut down the thoughts. To me, this card signifies like being kind of trapped in one's thoughts and not really taking space to remember that we are more than just what we are thinking about or what thoughts are plaguing us. We can actually step into a whole realm where we are observing those. And this is kind of what I see here. It's us like stepping into the space of observing what we're thinking about and actually like asking ourselves, why? Why am I having these thoughts? Why am I having, you know, why am I being pulled in a different direction? Like, why is this coming up for me? Hi, baby. Hi. All right, and brief intermission, guys. We got a kitty to pet here. Hi. Hi. Yeah, you don't care that I'm doing a reading, do you? No, he don't care. He want attention. You baby. All right, yeah. So ask yourself the why. And like, the thing is too, like sometimes, okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. All right, you've showed the world your butt. That's enough. You showed the world your butt. That's enough. Yeah, that was obscene. That was obscene. They're gonna take down the video for that. YouTube doesn't want that kind of content. Looks so naughty. Doesn't he look naughty? He is. He is. So, I love you, baby. I'm sorry. All right, back to the Two of Swords. No, 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 no. Don't you hop back up here. Hi, Mariana. You are not coming up here. You've taken advantage. You've broken the rules, and you've put obscene content on this channel. No, 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 no. All right. He'll probably pop back up here, just knowing my cat. Where was I? I'm looking at this Two of Swords. All right. So when we are allowing ourselves to feel ripped apart by our conflicting, thoughts, perspectives coming at us, what we're ignoring in the background here is that vast body of water behind us. You know, you're trapped in your head because you don't want to deal with the feelings. You don't want to deal with how it feels, actually, what you're being kind of afraid, like if I actually do go into that murky depth, what am I going to actually come out with? And it's not pleasant sometimes. And that can freeze us, we can be frozen because we're just like, ugh. I also think there's just an element of being frozen here, right? Because we got too much going on. You are very rude. You're very sweet and very rude. So, all right, come on, babe. So in terms of looking at how do we deal with that? Because this is where we're stuck collectively, we're stuck, literally stuck. Can't move, can't make a decision. What are we gonna do? What do we fear? The Queen of Swords. I mean, don't we all? We fear making a decision and facing the consequences of our decisions, right? Even if it is for our best fulfillment, even if it is in alignment with what is actually going to truly make us happy in this world, the fear of judgment is strong. And the fear of making the wrong decision is strong too, especially when you have a past where the wrong decisions have been made. I mean, there is no wrong decision, right? Let's just get over that. That's very individualistic. It's a mindset that's very self-focused and doesn't kind of allow room for a further development of the self, because you're just like stuck in that space of judgment about yourself rather than experiencing yourself. So that's something to get out of entirely with this whole reading, to think about, like, are you in judgment of yourself because you've failed in the past to fulfill yourself? You made the wrong choices about fulfillment. They weren't correct. That you've chased after you've chased after an empty cup. You've thrown a coin into a fountain that was empty. You've put all your eggs in a basket that was thrown. I don't know, however you want to look at it, but this is kind of like saying to me, like, we fear being fully responsible and sitting on that throne where we make those tough decisions that are like actually cutting. She wields a sword. The Queen of Swords wields a sword. She cuts shit out. She says, no, I don't like that. No, we're not doing that. She's logical. She's analytical. She's severe. Well, we don't want to be severe, do we? I'm not suggesting we be severe, but we fear that element. But we need that element too. We need that element that comes in and says, this isn't right for me. And you remember, it's a queen, right? It's like a mother defending her young, Think of it like that. Like a female bear, right? She's with her cubs. She does not take time to worry about right or wrong. She grabs her claws and her teeth, and she bares them with ferocity in defense of what she loves, what she cherishes, her cub. And that's how you need to be. That's how we all need to be when it comes to seeking our fulfillment. Seeking true fulfillment, we have to be ferocious. And she's kind of bringing that in. And also, like, there's a bird flying high above her head. Earlier this week, I saw an eagle from my window. It was incredible. And I took some video of it, which disappeared from my phone, which was disappointing, but I also felt like it was correct because they're not usually over here. I mean, she was, who knows what the hell she was doing over here other than like flying around in her little eagle circles. She didn't want to be seen. Sometimes a big part of that too with the Queen of Swords is she's got a kingdom it's not easy to get to. It's high up in the mountains. It's, you know, it seems like a desolate place. It's not. It's actually quite incredible, but it's windy, you know, it's cold. It's a severe place where she lives. And that eagle kind of message to me is about like learning to go above, learning to see from a higher perspective. It's easy to be like, oh, I don't want to be severe. I don't want to say anything that's going to like, you know, cause too many issues. I don't want to like express myself in this way, or I don't want to hurt anyone, you know, in pursuit of my, you know, dreams. You don't have a choice sometimes, right? It has to be done. Sometimes we don't have a choice about that. In order to fly high, you have to be willing to bear that sword of truth. And it's not about right or wrong, it's just about truth. So the outcome, the final outcome that we come to then is the Seven of Swords, as I already said. Seven of Swords. Getting away with it. Sneaking away. Getting your peace, all right? We're all, you know, I also think that about the eagle too. You know, they fly high, they've got vision, but they're looking everywhere for their thing, aren't they? As hunters, just as a hunter, that bird. You think of it like they're looking all around. They're not afraid to fly higher so that they can see more and do more and go more places. And that's what this is really about, you know? Because we have this like thief energy here. And then, you know, I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm reminded of the like the Smiths, shoplifters of the world unite, right? With this card, he's like, he's getting away with it. He's going after what's gonna get him and his what is needed. And sometimes you just have to be that way in this world, you know, it's not, we put a lot of judgments on ourselves too. Coming back to the like centerpiece of judgment. Like, are you judging yourself or others for the decisions they make that are about their fulfillment? Are you judging others, or are others judging you? And like, are you judging yourself for wanting more? And more doesn't mean more things, but it may mean more experiences. It may mean more status. It may mean more responsibility. But in order to reach that ascension to this like high kingdom, you know, where this queen sits, and where the eagles fly, you know, you have to begin to drop the sentimentality and drop the fear of like, there's a fear of being seen too here. There's kind of like a hiding, like, oh, if I don't make a decision, or if I don't do this directly, if I don't say it directly, but I communicate it indirectly, then I'll be safe. No. This queen here comes like to say the best thing. You fear this. You fear that like free expression. You fear like asking what you really want or saying what it is you really want. You know, there's a fear. You fear it. but it is also what will liberate you. And once you're liberated, you're able to get away further. You'll get more. You always get more when you ask than when you don't. You may not get everything you ask for, but you may get more. But don't be afraid, to collect those swords. It's kind of interesting ending on a 7 of Swords too, just kind of going from like the 2 to the 7. Because there's the 2 in the background, right? And then he's taken away the 5 swords there. To me, that's about like being able to live to fight another day as well. If you want to live to fight another day, if you want to have more to give, if you want to have like more to contribute, then you are going to have to resolve. We collectively, wherever this is going, whoever this is addressed to out there, however it resonates, but there's a sense that we have to step into that space of being willing to be seen as severe and uncompromising. And actually, I'm kind of coming back to this Queen of Wands too, because she came up in how others are perceiving the situation, or how like it's affecting other people. So maybe there is a feeling of manipulation or some kind of like intensity being expressed, or like people want you to be fun. That's the other thing, like people want to have a good time. They don't want you to be a drag. They don't want you to drag them down with your reality. But the Queen of Swords is like, nuh-uh, like actually reality is reality, and I'm gonna call it like I see it. Are you like being the funny clown, for other people? Are you like putting on a show for other people so they don't see what's really going on, and so you don't have to express like what's actually going on? That could be part of it here too. Be very careful about that. Don't be a clown. Don't clown around and like try to make things lighthearted that aren't. Sometimes things just aren't lighthearted. Sometimes things aren't just, pretty and fun. Some things are very, very brutal. And sometimes we are the ones that have to like do that. We all take a turn. So, you could not take your turn. It's just saying you have the opportunity here to not, but then you won't get what you really want. You won't sneak away with your reward. Your fulfillment won't come because you're living for others, not for yourself in that position. All right. Well, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to give because this reading was intense enough. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking the video. And I don't know what else to say. Yeah, it is a lot, isn't it? They are a lot. But thank you for being here, watching me, and listening to this message. I hope that it's helpful to you in your journey. And, if you have any interest in getting a personal reading from me, you can check out my Etsy, Strange Productions. I do videos that are pre-recorded with a reading. I will say my turnaround time is a little bit longer right now just because of the amount of stuff I have going on. But, if you need it, I'm there. And, oh yeah, there was another thing. thank you all, you know, who shared and, you know, donated to my fundraiser. I really appreciate it. We went over, so I will be donating to another women's fundraiser. I actually did a post today. You can check it out on my community page here on YouTube, for Camille. She is raising money right now. So I would suggest, if you were looking to donate to me in the future, maybe send some money her way. And I will be donating, you know, the remaining funds that I don't spend to her. So yeah, thank you all for enabling that. I'm very excited for it, and actually really excited to look at just all the things that I haven't done in years. I've been having all these incredible visions of like seeing myself going places that I haven't thought about doing in years, just because like the pain of like having to walk around would be too much. So I'm looking forward to a real enriching of my lived experience. So I hope that, you know, well, I know that that will impact all of you who follow, you know, this channel and just my work in general. So, all right. Thank you so much. I hope you have a very pleasant fall. All right. How do I do this? There we go. Okay. Ain't it fun?